I found out my husband dropped $20,000 on breast implants for his side piece. So, I did what any rational person would. I bribed the surgeon to swap them for squeaky rubber chickens. At the charity gala, she took a tumble, and the chickens made a sound loud enough to echo through the entire ballroom. Now, the hashtag rubber chicken boob job is everywhere. Socially, they're finished. The first clue something was wrong came when I was doing the laundry. I found a crumpled receipt tucked in the pocket of Michael Carter's suit jacket. Unfolding it, the name Bella Rose stabbed at me like a needle. Below that, the line item, custom teardrop package, $19,800. Just this month, he'd been complaining about the company's cash flow problems. Turns out he'd been funneling 20 grand into fake boobs for another woman. No wonder he'd been claiming late nights at the office only to collapse into bed without so much as a touch. Last week, he came home at 3 a.m. smelling of perfume, insisting he'd been entertaining clients at karaoke. I used to chalk it up to work stress. Now I knew exactly where his energy had been going. My phone buzzed. A message from Michael. Working late tonight. Don't wait up. He attached a photo of his office view, but in the window's reflection, I saw a hotel vanity. Bella Rose, the TikTok influencer. A quick search on TikTok confirmed it. There she was, plastered with makeup, swaying for the camera. In her latest live stream, she cooed, "Thanks to my top gifter for the luxury car. Love you, my brobe." And the username was Michael's favorite gaming handle. I lay awake staring at the ceiling until past midnight. Around 2 a.m., Michael crept into bed. Once he was snoring, I swiped his phone. The passcode, our daughter's birthday, still the same. Scrolling through his messages, I saw him fawning over her like a lovesick teenager. Baby, you deserve the best. Don't worry about money. I booked the premium silicone. Totally natural feel. Once the surgery is done, I'll take you to the charity gala. Everyone will see how beautiful my wife is. Wife? Michael, you really are something. I shut the phone, grabbed mine, left the room, and dialed a number I hadn't called in years. Hello, Dr. Luke Harris. I've got a little project for you. A beat of silence, then a low chuckle. Lena, who are you trying to set up this time? I drained my wine, savoring the moment. This isn't about setting anyone up, I said, narrowing my eyes. This is for entertainment. Dr. Harris's cosmetic clinic perched at the top of the priciest tower in the financial district. I settled in the VIP lounge, sipping tea. He'd done well for himself. His framed license gleamed from the wall like a trophy. Well, well, look who finally decided to show, he said, strolling in with his coat unbuttoned. Heard your husband picked up a side piece? I tossed the receipt across the table. $19,800 from your clinic. Harris glanced at it, then laughed. Bella Rose, that TikTok girl. He slumped onto the sofa, crossing a leg over the other. She came last week demanding the biggest size, said her top gifter wanted it that way. I raised an eyebrow. Didn't you just get a shipment of those novelty implants? His grin faltered. He stood quietly, locked the door, and lowered his voice. Lena, those are for select clients. Press them, and they squeak like toys. I want a custom order, I said, showing him Bella's latest reel. On the screen, she danced for her followers, clucking into the mic. Bachboach, keep the gifts coming, boys. Harris twitched. You're crazy. That's malpractice. I pulled a folder from my bag, flipping it open to reveal a photocopy of a botch-nosed job he'd done on the mayor's daughter, along with a recording of him begging me to keep quiet. Old friend, I said smoothly. Think the state medical board would find this interesting? His face drained of color. After a pause, he tugged at his tie and forced a laugh. So, what size are we talking? The biggest you've got. My smile sharpened. Wouldn't want to shortchange that true love pair, I added. 3 days later, the sharp scent of disinfectant hit me as soon as I stepped into Dr. Harris's clinic. I stood behind the one-way glass in the observation room, staring at Bella Rose, sprawled on the operating table. She was under full anesthesia, blue lines crisscrossing her chest like a lamb marked for sacrifice. "You sure about this?" Dr. Harris asked, gloved hands holding 2 pink silicone implants.
"They look normal, but each has a tiny speaker built into the base," I explained.
"Crank the volume all the way," I added. He swallowed nervously.
"Once they're in, they'll feel real, but any pressure."
He squeezed one sharply. Squawk. The high-pitched squeal echoed through the room. The nurse nearly dropped her tray. My phone buzzed. A text from Michael. "Working late again. Don't wait up." Attached another office view, though a hotel keycard peeked into the frame. At the same moment, Bella's phone lit up on the table beside me. A WhatsApp notification popped up. "Baby, how's the surgery going? Once you're healed, I'll take you to the Hawthorne Foundation Gala at the Crown Hotel. Everyone will envy me for having such a gorgeous wife." I almost laughed aloud. Screenshot saved. Done. Scrolling through her feed, a new post appeared, and/or selfie captioned, "Gift from hubby," with 2 glaring red hearts. One lied about working late while sneaking around. The other flaunted her new assets before she even woke up. Perfect pair. Hours later, Dr. Harris peeled off his gloves. "All set. Surgery went perfectly." I glanced one last time at the monitor. Bella lay wrapped in bandages, blissfully, unaware she was about to become the city's punchline. Next month's gala would be interesting. 20 grand for a pair of breasts, not bad. Not bad at all. Let's see how loudly they squawk. 1 week later, I was lounging on the couch when a notification popped up. Bella Rose was live streaming. So soon after surgery, she was really pushing it for views. I smirked and tapped into the stream on screen. Her influencer-perfect face looked pale and slightly waxy. She wore a loose satin robe, neckline tugged just so, but her movements were stiff, especially around her chest. Careful, measured gestures. "Babies, I missed you so much." Her voice was unnaturally high, syrupy, sweet. "Sorry I disappeared for a few days. I went abroad for a checkup. Doctor says I've been overdoing it, so I needed rest." The chat exploded with mindless praise. "Take care, Queen. You work too hard. You look so skinny, poor thing." "A full body checkup. Resting." I laughed softly and hit record. Midstream, she tried to show off some skincare samples. As she lifted her arm, her brows pinched tight and her breath hitched. Pain rippled across her chest. She quickly set the jar down, switching to a lighter bottle, handling it with exaggerated care. The chat noticed. "Babe, what's wrong with your arm? Why does she look so stiff?" Bella plastered on a saccharine smile. "Oh, it's nothing. Just a little shoulder strain, still healing." But the best part was coming. Near the end, she leaned closer to the camera, voice conspiratorial. "Babies, I have the most exciting news. I've been invited to the Hawthorne Foundation Gala at the Crown Hotel." She pined like a peacock, forgetting the pain in her chest. "Official invitation, please." I knew the truth. It came from Michael's assistant. The comments went wild. "OMG, that's amazing! The Hawthorne Gala only invites VIPs. Our queen will slay the red carpet." Bella arched her chest, then flinched. "Yes, at the end of the month, Crown Hotel, high society." She gushed about couture gowns, flashbulbs, and luxury brands, painting herself as the star of the night. And I knew exactly what would happen. A month post-surgery, her chest nerves were still swollen, sensitive, unstable. One tight gown, sky-high heels, velvet carpet, and flashing cameras are a disaster waiting to happen. Bella, your vanity might just be your undoing. I closed the live stream with a satisfied smile and dialed a familiar number. By the end of the month, the Hawthorne Foundation Charity Gala had finally arrived. Michael Carter's company was sponsoring, so of course, he had to be there.
Stay home with the kid,
he said casually while adjusting his tie like it was a trivial suggestion. I lowered my gaze and murmured a soft okay. I knew perfectly well who his +1 would be. Standing by the window, I watched his car pull away. The corner of my mouth twitched into a subtle smirk. Honestly, how could I possibly miss a performance like this? The gala dazzled. Red carpet, blinding lights, flashes everywhere. The crimson carpet stretched from the grand entrance to the stage inside, flanked by reporters with long lenses, celebrities, CEOs, socialites, all vying for the perfect shot. And then she arrived. From my VIP box, champagne in hand, I watched Bella Rose glide down the carpet. She hadn't held back. Her gown sparkled with sequins and diamonds, the deep V plunging nearly to her navel. A gossamer veil draped over her chest, just enough to tease. Curls framed her face, cascading over the new assets she was so desperate to flaunt. On Michael's arm, she wore the practiced smile of someone trained in ambition and seduction. He looked smug, completely at ease. Isn't that influencer? Who? Bella rose. Reporters zeroed in immediately. Cameras clicked and flashed. Bella, over here. Pose for us. Look this way. She angled, arched her chest, lips curled into the most sultry smile she could muster, intoxicated by the spotlight. But just as she neared the stage steps, disaster lurked. Her stiletto, worth more than many people's monthly rent, caught on a tiny metal trim along the edge of the carpet, just millimeters high, but enough to destabilize her. The next morning, Bella stormed into Dr. Harris's clinic, tottering on 4-in heels. "Harris, you come out here! Look at the garbage you put in me!" She barreled past the receptionist and into the treatment area, smashing whatever she could reach. Luxury fillers tumbled to the floor. Brochures were shredded. Decorative plants toppled, spilling soil everywhere. "Fraud! Quack! You ruined me!" She grabbed a teacup, ready to fling it at the floor-to-ceiling mirror. "Miss Rose, please calm down." Dr. Harris appeared, arms out as if shielding her from herself. His face was the perfect mask of panic and contrition. "Miss Rose, I understand your anger. Please let me explain. This was an accident, a faulty batch from the supplier. I swear." Bella's bloodshot eyes narrowed. "An accident? One word won't fix this. Do you know what I went through? The internet is laughing at me. My career is over." She jabbed a manicured finger at her still prominent chest. "You promised perfection, and now—" Harris softened, leaning closer, coaxing her like a hypnotist. "Miss Rose, the mistake is mine. I failed to supervise properly. But I've contacted a top European supplier. The latest high-end implants, cutting edge, fully efficient, and—" He leaned closer, eyes gleaming, bigger with better support. "One full size up. It will erase this mishap and restore your confidence. You'll return stronger than ever." Her fury wavered, replaced by feverish desire. "Bigger, more perfect." Her voice trembled. "Absolutely. I'll operate myself. Use only the finest materials free of charge. Guaranteed flawless." The lure was irresistible. Bella stared at her reflection. Gaunt face, defiant curves, imagining herself striding back into the spotlight. Critics silenced. "Fine," she snapped. "Do it now. The biggest, the best. If you screw this up, Harris, you won't survive it. Trust me," he said, hiding a smirk behind a respectful nod. The operation room was prepped immediately. Under anesthesia, Bella received her enhanced implants, larger, heavier, and modified in ways she never questioned. Surgery went smoothly. When she awoke, she instinctively touched her bandaged chest. The size, fullness, and swelling made her grin despite the pain. "Yes, this is right," she whispered, already envisioning her triumphant return. She never asked what exactly had been implanted. She never suspected the encore that awaited her, an even more absurd surprise than the squeaky chicken fiasco. Over a month had passed since the infamous squeaky chicken fiasco at the Hawthorne Gala. The internet frenzy had simmered, but the hashtags never died. Bella Rose and Squeaky Chicken Chest were now permanently linked online. Brands fled. Her influencer career hit rock bottom. On the surface, Bella appeared to be biding her time, resting and plotting a comeback with her upgraded assets. In reality, she was still hustling, casting her net for a new benefactor, still clinging to Michael Carter. Clearly, she hadn't learned. Some men, it seemed, weren't deterred by scandal. Some were downright intrigued. Enter Mr. Warren, a corpulent, balding real estate mogul, infamous for his crude tastes and obscene wealth. He'd been eyeing Bella's chest for years. Where others saw humiliation, he saw opportunity and kink. While his peers laughed at the chicken debacle, Warren thought it sounded fun. Now that she was disgraced, he saw a bargain and perhaps a chance for extra perks. Through my quiet channels, I set up a meeting. Location: Skyline Club, the city's most exclusive private lounge. VIP suite, security already discreetly modified by my team, every corner under hidden surveillance. On screen, I watched Bella glide into the room in a skin-tight slip dress, attempting a lure despite layers of exhaustion. She forced a professional smile, desperate to hook what might be her last shot at relevance. Her enhanced chest projected boldly beneath the dress. 2 surgeries in rapid succession had left her sore, but tonight she had to endure. Warren's greedy eyes roved shamelessly. To him, women were face and chest. This one came with viral notoriety. Perfect. I sipped my wine, grinning at the screen. One desperate woman, one opportunistic pig. What a pair, Bella. Warren chuckled, belly wobbling. That gala incident was awkward, yes, but I like a woman with character. Stick with me and you'll never run out of resources. His hand crept toward her chest. Bella clenched her jaw, bracing herself, even leaning slightly forward as if to endure the humiliation. Then the doorbell chimed. Warren froze mid-gesture, irritation flashing. "Who's interrupting? I said no interruptions." "Apologies, sir," said a waiter. "A lady insisted I deliver this. A 1997 Chateau Margaux compliments of her. She hopes you and Miss Rose enjoy a rare vintage." Warren's frown melted into smug delight. "Open it, sweetheart," he said, grinning. Bella stepped forward to take the tray, but as the waiter moved, the heavy bottle and ice bucket slipped. Funk. The full weight slammed into Bella's left breast, and then ha! A deafening donkey bray erupted, louder and longer than the chickens at the gala. Warren froze, horror overtaking his glee. "Wasn't it chickens last time? Now it's donkeys!" He shrieked. "What kind of cursed chest do you have? Do the voices change?" He recoiled, gagging. "You call this treasure? It's a barnyard alarm system. Get it away from me!" He bolted, spitting curses. "I came for fun, not a zoo tour." Slam. The door rattled on its hinges. On the feed, Bella clutched her chest, face contorted in pain and humiliation. I swirled my wine and toasted the monitor. "Masterful work, old friend." Dr. Harris dabbed his brow. "You're covering the damages. All of it," he said, while I drained my glass with a grin. "Worth every penny." 2 hours later, an encrypted clip appeared on Melon Vine, the go-to outlet for sugar daddy gossip. Carefully edited, perfectly timed, the headline went viral. "Chicken bust no more. Viral influencer hits donkey mode. Tycoon's Night of Terror, Treasure Chest, or Cursed Relic. Mr. Warren's testimony, Barnyard Sounds not included. Sponsors, come back please. After the sugar daddy fiasco with the donkey bray, Bella Rose's streaming career ground to a halt. The internet erupted with memes, clucking bust, donkey queen, human alarm system. Cornered and desperate, she clung to her last lifeline, Michael Carter. Despite his trauma from the charity gala debacle, Bella hounded him relentlessly, calls, texts, even staking out his office, pleading, crying, manipulating. Perhaps it was a lingering attachment. Perhaps it was sunk cost of fallacy. Perhaps lust clouded his judgment. Whatever it was, Michael's defenses faltered under her persistent whining. They agreed to meet at a shabby, hidden couples theater, hoping for a discreet rekindling. But every step of this encounter was under my control. From the moment I discovered his affair, a private investigator had installed spyware on his phone. Every illicit text, every hotel booking, every whispered confession streamed to my encrypted cloud in real time. The theater, one of my anonymous investments. Every room fitted with discreet voice-activated cameras. Inside, just the two of them. As Michael leaned in, half distracted, Bella flinched. Then, without warning, his elbow collided with her freshly repaired, hypersensitive chest. Oink squeal. The shrill, warped squeal tore through the tiny theater like a piglet in distress. Triple kill, I whispered to myself in the monitoring room. The sultry atmosphere evaporated instantly. Michael froze, eyes wide, shock and revulsion etched into every line of his face. He recoiled as if confronted by a ridiculous, animated monstrosity, desire extinguished completely. Bella's blank stare met his, and in that instant, she saw the verdict worse than any viral ridicule, utter rejection. Her body, once a tool of pride and seduction, had become a grotesque weapon against her own ambitions. She collapsed in the theater, hollow and defeated. That night, Michael returned home pale and broken, avoiding my gaze. The hidden cameras had captured everything perfectly. He knew someone was orchestrating this, but had no proof, only the echoing, grotesque sounds of humiliation replaying endlessly in his mind. Checkmate. Bella disappeared entirely from public view, her mental state in shambles. It was the perfect moment. I slid the divorce papers across the table in front of Michael. The terms were brutally clear. Screenshots of every incriminating chat, every hotel receipt, every documented tryst, custody of our child, the downtown apartment, most savings and stock options mine. Michael received only an old car and a small severance. Final humiliation. He escorted Bella to a plastic surgery clinic to remove her implants. All expenses on him. His knuckles whitened around the papers. Lena Harper, you're ruthless. This is impossible. Extortion. I didn't flinch. I pulled my phone from my purse. The screen lit up. A perfectly edited audio file played. Click. The charity gala recording. Hee-ha! The donkey bray from the VIP suite. Oinking squeal. The theater fiasco. Looped seamlessly. I tilted the phone toward him. Michael, refuse if you want. I don't mind playing this little symphony at your family dinner, or maybe your company gala. The sound pierced his ears, embedding every humiliation into his mind. Images of flashing cameras, barnyard noises, and theater shrieks assaulted him. Overwhelmed, terrified, he snapped, hands shaking. He scrolled his signature across the contract. From the day he cheated, every move had been a chess piece, perfectly positioned. Daily investigator reports live or feeds of Bella's would be sponsor, and he didn't even know how many more pieces I held. Before the ink dried, the chats, hotel receipts, and redacted photos leaked across gossip networks. The internet roared. Scumbag escorts clucking queen back to reality. Pays every penny. Photos. Michael in disguise dragging a pale, broken Bella to the clinic like a prisoner. Hashtag husband of the year, hashtag redemption trip. One became the eternal joke, the other socially dead. Epilogue. I got far more than I ever expected. Bella rose, gone from the public eye, her implants removed. Michael Carter, broken, humiliated, stripped of wealth and reputation, shunned in his own circles. As for me, I sold the house and every remnant of the past. With my child by my side, dressed in a perfectly tailored vacation outfit, I boarded a first-class flight to the beach. Outside, clouds drifted lazily. Sunlight bathed the horizon. A new life had begun.